that, because when we raise our expectations of one another, then we raise the bar in the game that we're doing. And this is what I do with CEOs, with executive directors, with foundation directors, and so on. So that's in essence, we developed this process, mission-driven marketing. It's a comprehensive process for developing smart, effective marketing plans and programs. I mean, the basic thing is we found a process that leaves no stone unturned in strategic planning and marketing situations. And I work in an industry where there's a lot of people come in with kind of a methodology and a process, and it's kind of a lightweight go through it, and at the end you get kind of a thin document, and it hasn't really changed anything. And I am about change. I think all of you are about change, or you wouldn't be here. If we wanted to be in some sort of thing that's kept the world static, this is probably not the right profession, no matter what you're doing. So I spent a lot of time also learning about transformation. I'm a founder of an organization, Chicago-based organization called the Foundation for Transformational Leadership, and I'll talk a little bit about that in a bit. So let's go through a bunch of slides. I think you get the sense of what we do. We're in strategic planning. We do cause marketing partnerships, marketing communication services, business development, coalition building, and so on. I'll show you some of our clients, just so you can see the sort of the company we keep. These are some of our Chicago social cause clients. We have a slide on some of our national nonprofit and cause clients. And it's a mix of organizations hopefully you've heard and had experiences with, and maybe some that are not so much household names. And then we have our for-profit clients as well. And I love working with the for-profit clients. I love talking about mission, because as you all just talked about, there's a dynamic between either being about profit or being about mission or faith. Yep.
Threat Financial for Lutherans is a nonprofit.
It is a nonprofit, and I moved it yesterday, specific for this presentation, and I thought someone's going to raise their hand and point that out to me.
Because he works there.
Is that where you work?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Okay, good. You're a client of ours.
Yeah. We're the nation's largest Christian nonprofit.
I know that, and I debated leaving you on there. The problem was you would have gotten lost on the other page, and I wanted to be sure that you were visible here. And in many ways, I think we can talk about this offline. There are ways that your company functions as a corporation, and I think it's from what I've learned, it's very confused inside as to what we're here for. Are we here to drive sales of insurance policies into the Lutheran community and beyond into the expanded Christian community? Are we really here to do mission work? And it's a very interesting question that the company wrestles with. It's obviously very, very successful at what it does, and I've learned a lot from working with it. So we'll talk offline. Yeah, but thanks for pointing that out, and thanks for looking at my slides. So, all right. I'm going to be a little bit radical here and suggest that our economy is still in a recession. I know that the president doesn't agree with this, and many economists don't agree with this, but I think we still have the same dynamics that we had when we were all in agreement that we were in a recession. We still have very high unemployment. It's coming down, but there's still an awful lot of people out of work. We have exceptionally high gasoline rates, pushing $4.50, $5 a gallon. We have lots of social issues that are not being addressed. We have bankrupt states on the verge of bankruptcy, yes. And so on and so forth. So I believe we're in the middle of a 12-year recession, and probably in year 4 of it. And the thing about being mission-driven in recessionary times is this is all about wanting to change and wanting to reinvent ourselves. Because if you are not here really thinking about how you're going to be different, how you're going to reinvent yourself out of this day on social entrepreneurship and gospel entrepreneurship, and in your work, and how you're going to help other people change, then are we really on mission? Is our mission really, because you're either trying to move forward in our approach, or you're moving backwards. There is no just staying still. There's no stasis. So we believe organizations need to seize this moment, this era, this time to transform and perform, to remain relevant to their audiences and stakeholders. But the whole world around us is changing. So transformation is mandated to meet the needs of a changing economy. You're either evolving and progressing to meet new demands, or you're slipping. Newer, younger, more progressive competitors are emerging. They don't need the infrastructure of the big corporations or the big nonprofits or the big educational institutions to be something in the world. They can go to Starbucks every day and start something there. I just saw it over here at 1871. It's just amazing. By the way, last year, I heard J.B. Pritzker talk last week. Last year, through 1871, 200 companies were founded with a market value of $1 billion. That was up from 6 companies in 2007. So they're doing really, really cool stuff over there. So we'll keep going. You're sort of getting the sense here. So our mission-driven marketing helps organizations establish, refocus, revitalize brand or organization. And this is the part where I'm going to go through pretty quickly, because then I need you to focus me on what parts of this will really help with your respective work situations, professional situations, and so on. So we're about uncovering unique and competitive assets of high value. One of the things we see wherever we are, and Shanta's worked with us for Scoop as an example, where there are organizations are sitting on assets, some of them tangible, some of them intangible, and they don't talk about them. So our process is very affirming. We come in and we help an organization really see, in large part, what's good about them. We also uncover things that need to be addressed that are often swept under the carpet. And so we need to handle both. Because a lot of times in marketing, as marketers, we get called in to say, would you please tell the world how great we are? And a lot of my competitors are happy to take your money and do that. I, unfortunately, don't feel good about doing that if what I see is not accurate in what you want us to tell the marketplace. So that's where the transformation comes in our process, is that we work with our clients on, well, how are you going to be internally and genuinely the messaging or the marketing or the advertising that you want to put out to the world, whether it's a television campaign or a blog posting or anything like that. You need to live into your mission and your vision of the world every day. So that's really what this is about, and hopefully you'll find some synergies here. So are you mission-driven, or are you mission-challenged? This has been the subject of a series of articles that I've written this past year for the Nonprofit Times, and I brought a couple of them that we can hand out to you, and they're on our website as well. But as we say here, the difference between the environments of mission-challenged nonprofits and mission-driven ones, and this applies to for-profits too, is you can feel it right when you walk in the door. We've all had that experience. You know, the energy of a mission-driven organization is palpable. You can feel it right at the receptionist. You know you're walking into an organization and something is going on, right? And then you can walk into that organization where you just know, okay, it's dead. It's, you know, if this is a has-been, it's just on its final string, something's keeping it sustained. Usually it has money or something that's keeping it going, but it is so off purpose. People are resonating a little bit.
Too much money to die and too little money to live.
Yeah. Yeah, well, and it's interesting because I'm getting a huge education into this world of philanthropy right now through this Council on Foundations, and I'm getting to sit at the table with some of the people who run some of the biggest foundations in the world. We're going to have Judith Rodin, the CEO of the Rockefeller Foundation, at our conference, the biggest foundation in the world right there. Bob Gallucci, who runs MacArthur, will be with us. And I interact with a lot of these people, and they're good people, very good people, very genuine people. But I'm learning about this industry and this whole ivory tower paradigm that they live in, and how disconnected a lot of them are really from the issues of the day. And the other thing is a study just came out by the independent sector that shows to bring about real change, And I think this applies to us as individuals and applies to us as organizations, but the study shows to bring about real change takes 20 to 25 years. And a lot of these foundations are in issues sometimes for 3 and 4 years. So Don Cook, who's a #2 guy at McCormick Foundation here, said, you know, we've been in early childhood education and early childhood development for 20 years. And during that course of the 20 years, they've seen dozens, maybe hundreds of foundations who've come in, invested in early childhood development, 3, 4 years, and then they move on to the next issue. But did they get it done? You know, and so that's just a challenge of being in philanthropy. It's fascinating. But we ask these questions, and I think these are questions, again, you can ask for yourself at any given moment and in the life cycle of your organization. Are you being reactive, or are you being proactive? Are you operating in the boiler room? Are you in the darkness in a world of complaints and explanations and justifications for why things are? Or are you driving the train? Are you in the front car, controlling your speed, controlling your direction, controlling who's with you, and are you plowing through and making progress? Are you engaged, or are you disengaged? Where are you right now in this moment? Do you have a corporate attitude, which is not my job? I have this specific thing, I'm going to do this specific thing, and then I'm going to go home and I don't need to worry about it? Or are you holding the mission of the whole organization? Are you holding the success of your colleagues? Are you worried and concerned and interested and engaging and finding out what is going on around you? And do all of your team members behave and model that same behavior with you? And do you expect that from your team members? Do you expect that from your employees? Do you expect that from your customers? I suit up every day because I was trained to hold a higher standard than my clients. I intend to outdress my clients because I intend to be a wake-up call when I'm in front of them. And it's not a one-upmanship. It's about standards. And I mean, I really wrestle with this. One of the hard things is we live in a culture where people like to wear blue jeans. And I'm not going to go into my whole thing about blue jeans, and somehow someone said it was okay to wear blue jeans in my company on Fridays. But I come in suited up, ready to conduct business, and I have people who can go home and get in their garden. And I'm like, you know what? There's just 2 different ways to dress when you're conducting business. It's just attitude and intent and demonstrating intent. So I'll leave it at that. I'll get myself in trouble. Is your organization low energy or high energy? Is your organization, is it an approach to the world that there's an abundance of resources, an abundance of opportunities to do its work and be successful, or do you come from scarcity? We don't have enough money, there's not enough people, no one's really interested, the world's passing us by. So here's some takeaways that really come out of our process. And I'm actually going to flip through them pretty quickly because I'm good till...
For 20 minutes.
20 minutes, okay. So
you said we'll get this, all this is in